Hey everyone, how's it going? My name is Richard Moglen, and welcome to this week's watchlist video sponsored by MarketSmith. As always, we'll go through both the fundamentals and technicals of all the stocks on my focus list, and let's dive right in and start with AHCO. So starting off with the earnings and sales, you can see decent growth here, especially in terms of sales. There's great estimates for 2021, up 153%, with the revisions up as well. IBD ratings are okay. The EPS rating is pretty poor at 65. Group RS B minus. SMA rating is a C. Accumulation distribution A minus, and the overall composite rating is a pretty strong 93. Looking at the fund ownership, you can see a nice increasing trend, but you do not have any high quality funds invested into this stock. And looking at the chart, you can see it's been in a strong uptrend, and overall the RS line is basing along with the price with an overall RS rating of 94. And as for the setup, what I'm looking for is a break above this high at 39.76 on above average volume. And this day right here is a little bit of an outlier. You can see a big drop here, but a nice strong recovery. I believe they had a share offering, but overall it was down 5% after this gap. But the next day recovered on very strong volume, which is a positive, and now it's setting back up right near all-time highs. Next up, we've got CRSR, or Corsair Gaming, and overall you can see blowout earnings and sales the past 3 quarters. Last quarter earnings up 382%, sales up 61%, and after-tax margins up 10.6%. However, if we do look at the estimates, you can see 2020 was supposed to be very strong, but the next year, 2021, is actually supposed to be down 7%, although revisions are up. The EPS rating is a 78, Group RS is a B, SMA rating is an A, Accumulation Distribution B+, and the overall composite rating is a very strong 98. Looking at the fund ownership, you can see a nice increasing trend in the 2 quarters that's been public. And you do have Fidelity Contra Fund already owning a position in this stock. And look at the chart, you can see it's advanced well from its IPO base, and now is setting up its kind of first more mature base after this IPO advance phase. So as for the entry setup, what I'm looking for is a breakout on above average volume above this high at 40.41. And I wouldn't be surprised if CRSR continues to build out this base, but I do want to see it keep making higher highs here against the 50 SMA. Moving on, we've got FTCH, or Farfetch Limited, and overall you can see great sales growth the past few quarters, but you can see it's not supposed to be profitable within the next 2 years. EPS rating is very poor at 25, Group RS is a B minus, SMA rating is a C, Accumulation Distribution is an A, and the overall composite rating is a pretty poor 76. Looking at the fund ownership, you can see a gradual increase over the past 2 years, and you do have one high quality fund investing into this stock. And overall, you can see a very strong move from this stage 1 cup with handle. And so far, it's holding that 21 EMA and kind of pulling back a little bit to that key moving average with some nice upside reversal bars right here. And overall, the RS line is basing and pulling back with the price, and the overall rating is a 98. So as for the entry setup, what I want to see is a breakout above this downward trend line on above average volume, or potentially an undercut and reclaim of the 21 EMA. Moving on, we've got IIPR, and overall you can see nice growth in terms of FFO as well as revenue. This is a REIT, and overall you can see great estimates for 2021, although the estimates revisions are downwards. EPS rating is a 74, Group RS is C minus, SMA rating is an A, Accumulation Distribution is a B minus, and the overall composite rating is a strong 92. Looking at the fund ownership, you can see a nice increasing trend over the past 2 years. You do not have any high quality funds owning shares of this stock. And overall, it's been in a nice strong uptrend this year, and it's been holding that 21 EMA throughout this move, and just had a bit of an undercut and reclaim of that moving average this past week. And overall, the RS line is basing on the price, and the overall rating is a 91. And as for the entry setup, what I want to see is a break of this downward trend line on above average volume, or a breakout of this inside day pattern right here, once again on above average volume. And I don't like these 2 large red bars recently, so I do want to see really strong volume if it breaks this key line right here. Moving on, we've got LOB, and overall you can see great earnings this past quarter, up 822%. Sales were also up 60%, and after-tax margins up 28.3%. You've got great estimates for 2021, up a further 95%, with revisions up as well. EPS rating is only 56, Group RS is a B+, SMA rating is a B, Accumulation Distribution is an A-, and the overall composite rating is a strong 96. Looking at the fund ownership, it's pretty much flat over the past 2 years, and you do not have any high quality funds investing into this company. Looking at the chart, you can see the very strong trend from this stage 1 cup, and so far it's been holding this 21 EMA throughout this entire move pretty much, And look at the RS line, it's advancing along with the price and now pulling back, and the overall rating is a 96. So as for the entry setup, what I'm looking for is a breakout above this high at 49.98 on above average volume. Next up, we've got MGNI or Magnite Inc. And overall, you can see earnings last quarter were up 400%, sales were up 62%, and after-tax margins were up 11.9%. And looking at the estimates, you can see it's just supposed to be profitable in 2021, and the revisions are up. The EPS rating is only a 38, Group RS is a D+, SM rating is a C, accumulation distribution B+, and the overall composite rating is pretty poor at 65. And look at the fund ownership, you can see a nice increase over the past 2 years, and you do have one high-quality fund investing into this stock. And look at the chart, it looks pretty bad. It looks like it's really pulling back dramatically, but it's holding that key kind of all-time high. If we go to a monthly chart, it's right at this level at about 23.18. So that's why I'm looking for it to hold. And this day right here was very volatile. I think there was a report coming out against the company, but so far it moved up well off the lows and is holding that key level right there. So as for the entry setup, I'm looking for a break of this downward trend line or even a breakout of this inside day right here on above average volume. And I definitely want to see it hold this key level at 23.2. If it closes below that, I'm definitely out if I do decide to take up a position. So next on the list, we've got NARI Medical, and overall you can see great revenue growth the past 3 quarters. And last quarter earnings were up 999% as well, sales up 172%, and after-tax margins were up 16.8%. And as for the estimates, you can see in 2021, it's not supposed to be profitable, and the revisions are down. The EPS rating is only a 30, the Group RS is C+, SM rating is a C, accumulation distribution A-, and the overall comps rating is a pretty poor 69. And look at the fund ownership, you can see it's increased over the past 3 quarters, and you do have 3 high-quality funds invested into this stock. And as for the chart, you can see it's approaching the pivot of the stage 1 consolidation after going all the way down to the pink area here. But overall, this is a potential green line breakout. And as for the entry setup, what I'm looking for is a breakout through that line, which is that previous high at 84.91 on above average volume. So that is NARI, and next up we've got NVCR. And overall, you can see great growth in terms of earnings and sales the past 3 quarters. Last quarter, earnings up 350%, sales up 44%, and after-tax margins up 7%. And the EPS estimates for 2021 are up a further 90%. All the revisions are down. The EPS rating is a 75. The Group RS is C+, SM rating is a C, accumulation distribution is a B, and the overall composite rating is a 92. Looking at the fund ownership, you can see an increasing trend and 3 high-quality funds investing into this company. And overall, it shook a lot of people out right here, including me, and then just took off from this stage 2 consolidation. But now it's pulling back and forming a little bit of a tight shelf here. And as for the entry setup, what I'm looking for is a breakout above this high at 173.98 on above average volume. And this definitely was actionable last week as it retook the 21 EMA and closed above this high, and then also had a 3-bar break on this Friday. Next up, we've got ONEM, which was also on last week's watch list. And overall, looking at the revenue, you can see that it's decent. It's not incredible. And you can see it's not supposed to be profitable within the next 2 years. The EPS rating is very poor at 7. The Group RS is a D. SM rating is not available. Accumulation distribution B-, and the overall comps rating is very, very poor at 31. Looking at the fund ownership, you can see a nice increasing trend, and you have 2 high-quality funds investing into this stock. Looking at the chart, you can see this is a longer-term cup with handle with a standard pivot of 44.33. So as for the entry setup, what I'm looking for is a breakout above that key level on above average volume. Next up, we've got PLTR, and overall looking at the earnings and sales, you can see it's not yet profitable, but does have very nice revenue growth at about 50% the past 3 quarters. And looking at the EPS estimates for the next year, you can see they're up 71% with the revisions up as well. EPS rating is 11, Group RS is a D+, SM rating is a D, accumulation distribution is an A, and the overall comps rating is a very poor 50. Looking at the fund ownership, you can see there's 97 funds in here, and you do not have any high-quality funds in there just yet. Looking at the chart, you can see it's moved up quite well from this stage 1 IPO base, and now is forming another consolidation here after retaking the 21 EMA on this past Friday. So as for the entry setup, what I'm looking for is a break of this downward trend line on above average volume, and ideally it would form one more contraction here, and then break out and kind of tighten up a little bit more on this right-hand side and use this as the pivot, which is at 26.44. So that is PLTR. And next up, we've got Snapchat. And you can see great earnings this past quarter, up 125%. Sales were up 52%. And after-tax margins were up 1.7%. However, it's not supposed to be profitable within the next 2 years. The EPS rating is only a 40. Group RS is a B+. SM rating is a C. Accumulation distribution is an A+. And the overall composite rating is an 89. And taking a look at the chart, you can see it had a recent earnings gap up on huge volume, which is a institutional tell and footprint, and overall has moved up strongly from that point, holding that 21 EMA, and is now setting up below this swing high at 54.71. So as for the entry setup, what I'm looking for is either a breakout above this level at 54.71, or you could use an earlier entry, which is at this high at 53.82 if it really moves on above average volume. And I like this kind of in the wick action here where it held this close on this past Friday. So that was Snapchat. And next up, we've got TerraSend Corp. And overall, you can see excellent revenue growth the past few quarters, although it is decelerating a little bit. And overall, last quarter sales were up 90%. After-tax margins were down 33.2%. And looking at the EPS estimates, you can see it's just supposed to be profitable in 2021, and the revisions are up. The EPS rating is a 49, Group RS is an A, SM rating is not available, accumulation distribution is an A+, and the overall composite rating is not available. And as for the fund ownership, you can see there's very few funds invested into this company, but you do have one high-quality fund in there, which is definitely interesting. And as for the chart, you can see it's in a nice uptrend, although it definitely is a kind of lower price stock here. But it has been holding that key 21 EMA throughout this entire move. Overall, the RS rating is strong at 98, and the RS line is basing and pulling back with the price. And as for the entry setup, this is a potential green line breakout using this high way back in 2018. And I'm looking for a breakout above this line on above average volume. And this is also another alternate pivot at 10.63. And definitely this is a kind of lower quality stock. You've got a pretty poor dollar volume at only 4.4 million per day. But overall, it is in a hot group at this point with all the kind of weed stocks in strong uptrends. So that's my plan for TerraSend, and this is one of my top 3 setups along with Snapchat and also NVCR through this level right here. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, please go ahead and leave a like down below and subscribe if you are new, and let me know down below in the comment section what are your top 3 ideas for this upcoming week. Best of luck, and I'll see you guys in future videos.